Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning back in. I've gotten a lot of people reaching out recently regarding a core tackle product, the core tackle shimmy rig. I'm getting a lot of emails to the core tackle info email. I'm getting a lot of texts from friends where people are sending pictures and success stories using the core tackle shimmy rig with a bunch of different various baits. And it's funny to me because I actually think it's one of the coolest baits that core tackle has come out with. I think it's very, very unique and has a lot of diversity to it. But it's probably been the slowest product to catch on. But I feel like even though it's been out now since the spring, it's really starting to catch on now and people are seeing the power that the bait has. So when you rig the shimmy rig with, say, your favorite straight tail plastic. Now you can rig it with a bunch of different types of plastics, but personally I like it with your straight tail minnows. So this is actually a depth Sakamata shad. When you rig it, this thing when on the fall will stay relatively horizontal and it'll just shimmy and vibrate. Now depending on the bait that it is, some have more of a side to side vibration, like really tight vibration. Others have a real wide movement. So it varies based on the bait that you use as well as the weight of the shimmy rig that you rig it on. The key here is though, the bait on the free fall is doing its own thing. It's literally shimmying as it falls, generating a lot of strikes for people who are using it either from a minnow standpoint where they're trying to catch suspended fish with it, but a lot of guys are actually catching them dragging it. The same sort of places you'd throw a wobble head or a Carolina rig, things like that. And they're catching a lot of fish. And some of the baits that we've been getting a lot of feedback on where people are catching them fish is on the Sakamata shad as well as a fluke. Those are two definitely the most popular baits. Now I got to tell you, some of the ones that I've had really good success with is the Crush City freeloader. This guy works really well on it. So does the Kitech Shad Impact. You guys know I'm a big fan of the Shad Impact. And then also the Biwa Scorpitail. This is another good straight tail minnow, kind of your fluke style bait, but this has a much slower side to side movement, whereas like the fluke has a really sharp vibration and that tail just vibrates really good. But people are really catching them. I mean, the last couple of weeks, I don't know if they've just started using it or it's a fall deal. But people are sending a lot of pictures of big smallmouth and largemouth that they're catching on the shimmy rig. Now, I do want to point out a couple of things. One thing that I love to do with it is take advantage of the O-ring that we've put on the weight. So I'll actually put like a small spinner blade on the back, and then that allows me to fish it almost as a hybrid underspin swim bait minnow presentation. So I can work this bait and retrieve it straight as I would say an underspin where I've got my spinner going, and then when I kill it and that bait falls, you get the shimmy motion while your blade is still rotating. It's a really good presentation. I haven't personally been able to fish it for spotted bass. I have to imagine it would be a spotted bass killer though. So take advantage of the little ring by connecting a small spinner blade on the back. You can also mount a treble hook if you want to have a little bit higher hookup percentage with it. You can go ahead and do that too. The other thing I want to point out though is you want to make sure that you're matching the plastic with the weight that you're choosing appropriately. So if you say grab a fluke and you go with the 3/16 ounce 3/0 version, you're going to get a much different fall out of that than you would if you went with the 5/0 3/8 ounce version. You can have weights that overpower the bait too much and you have weights that underpower the bait. And what I mean by underpower is you get a slow fall to the point where you don't get the same vibration. If you choose a bait that's too heavy, you'll end up getting a faster fall, which can overpower it and not let the bait vibrate as much as it should. So depending on the baits that you're using, you may want to either increase or decrease the size of the shimmy rig that you're throwing. It is really crucial to play around with the right baits and figure out the right weight, size, and hook size for the baits that you're using. But it's really one of the the most versatile baits that I think core tackle makes, because you can fish it both on the bottom and you can fish it for suspended fish. You can even burn it across the surface if you wanted to fish it almost like a spinner bait in that term. But it's been really cool getting a bunch of emails lately, a bunch of fish pictures. just people having success with it. And I understand it's an odd looking contraption. Again, it's really when you hold it, you're like, I don't know what to do exactly with it. But when it's rigged, it's not that crazy looking, right? It's just a weight sitting under the belly, and that weight being pushed back allows that bait to stay more horizontal, which then allows you to get vibration out of the bait. So try it. If you haven't tried it yet, try the shimmy rig. Any of these minnow baits I just mentioned to you work really well on it. There's all different baits. You can throw pretty much any style soft plastic that you want on it. In fact, I would encourage you to play around with various plastics, whether they're cross styles, maybe they're soft stick baits, maybe it's just a straight tail worm. You can pretty much put almost anything on it. You're going to get different action and changed motions based on the plastics that you choose. So if you do find one that works really well, put that in the comment section too, so the rest of us can learn from you. This is definitely a product that is starting to catch fire, and I think you're going to hear more about it in the future. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all the support. Stay tuned. We'll have a new video coming out tomorrow.